Hi, and welcome to my YouTube page. Today I'm going to go over some basic tips or some advice on how to best prepare yourself for your next trip, and hopefully it'll make it a little bit more enjoyable. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I can tell you as a bit of advice is not to overpack. It seems so simple to not overpack. Let me tell you, 80–90% of people that go on trips overpack. An average person should be able to fit 10 days worth of clothes in a standard carry-on bag. 10 days. There are people who travel the world for a year with nothing more than a backpack and a carry-on bag. So to say that I can't fit all my stuff into one of those small bags just tells me that you're taking things that you don't need. The best way to put it is what are you actually going to wear versus what you think you want to wear. A great tool for avoiding overpacking, and all good travelers do this, is they lay out what they're going to pack on a bed, on a floor, on a dresser. This way they can see what it is that they are desiring to pack versus what they need to pack. Little things, those little things that you can pull out and take away, and things that go better can be mixed and matched together. This also leads into advice number 2. Know the weather of your destination. Just because where you're at is sunny and 75 doesn't mean that where you're going isn't going to be 30 degrees and a blizzard. It also helps to know the weather because you need to know whether you should be bringing a jacket or not bringing a jacket. So know your weather before you get there so that you're not overpacking things that you don't need or forgetting things that you might need. Tip number 3, cubes. Yes, travel cubes are awesome. They make 2 different types of travel cubes. They have the regular standard cubes, and now they even have these ones over there called compression cubes, where once you put stuff in it, there's another zipper that helps compress the air out. I cannot tell you how much more you can actually pack by using cubes. It also makes it great if you have multiple stops or multiple destinations. You can pack a cube for each destination so that all you have to do is reach in and grab that one cube and you're ready to go for the next day or two. When you're done wearing the clothes, you throw it back into that cube and you move on to the next one. It also makes it great too because it's going to help compress some of that air out. You can fit more clothing in a cube than you can if you're just doing it. Now I know that everybody said, well, if I roll stuff up, if I layer stuff and then fold it all together, those are great tips and great tools, resources, whatever, to packing. But cubes are the way to go. Professionals use packing cubes and they use them for a reason. The next thing that I can tell you is have all your electronic accessories and batteries charged the night before, not the day of. Whether you know it or not, those things, whether it be your cameras, your cell phones, your tablets, your droids, what have you, they take longer to charge than what you think they do to be fully charged. Plug those suckers in the night before so that they get a full night's charge. The other thing is be organized with your cables and your adapters and your power connectors. Think logically. It is better to have one power source that USB plugs plug into that have maybe multiple ports than it is to have one power adapter that only works to one of your electronics. Bags these days, you can buy everyone from one that holds a tablet and has accessories in it to those grids that hold your cables nice and neat and organized, or it could be something as you found a small pouch for toiletries and you throw your cords in there. But having them centralized and organized saves time for when you need to get those and you're in a jam and you've got 15 minutes to get some juice into something and you need that cord, but it's packed at the bottom of the bag. Which leads me into the next best thing that you could possibly take with you when you're traveling is a battery pack. You should never assume that where you're going or where your layover is, or on the airplane or on the train or wherever it is that you're going to be sitting traveling to, has outlets. Outlets are a very rare commodity. Everybody's looking for them. Don't be that person that's unprepared. Have a battery pack. It can be a lifesaver. You could be getting to your destination. If you don't have cell phone, you've lost your maps. You've lost your ability to make phone calls. You've lost a lot of things. Contacts, lists, documentation. You've lost a lot of things, all because one device lost power. The next one would be medications. If you have life-threatening medications, make sure those are on you, not packed away somewhere where you can't get to them. I can't stress enough how important it is to have those life-saving medications in your reach. The other thing is to bring copies of your prescriptions, whether it's a photocopy on your phone, the actual prescription on hand. The more medications that you bring, the more likely you are to be questioned about what it is in your bag. It also makes it really a lot easier for pharmacies if you do need to get a refill, because you already have in hand the prescription on hand. The other thing about medication that you need to keep as a reminder on is always plan for at least 2 extra days. You never know when you're going to have a cancellation, or for that matter, you just are enjoying where you're at and you want to stay an extra day or 2. If it's something that you use on occasion, buy it when you get there. If it's something that you know that every time you fly you always get a headache, or you're getting ready to go to Southern California where it's springtime and things are blooming and you know you're going to have allergy problems, bring it. The next thing is call your bank. If you aren't an avid traveler, you don't travel a lot, banks these days are more secure. They're more likely to err on, ooh, that's 2,000 miles away from where this person normally gets gas. They will freeze those cards faster than you can shake a stick. Because the next thing on there is how much cash you should take with you. Anything domestically over $100 is probably too much cash to have on you, because you'll be using your card either for an ATM at the destination, and or needing it to reserve rooms, rental cars, or your trip back. Water. People don't realize this. When you get on a plane and you fly, you get dehydrated. Hard to believe, but you do. The way that fake air circulates and whatnot, it dehydrates you. Most of us don't fly first class, so we are at the mercy of the 2 or 3 flight attendants that have to look over 70 to 200 plus people on a flight. Bring water. It'll also save you money and time. The last thing, a bit of advice I can give you, is know in advance what your transportation options are. Everybody always does a really good job of preparing and planning at the front end. I've got my tickets booked, I've got my hotel booked, but they don't think about when they get there how they're going to get to their place of stay. Knowing how you're going to get there is just as important as the getting on the plane, the bus, or the train to get you to that destination. If you're flying into a smaller airport, you'll need to know when transportation ends. A lot of smaller airports, taxi cabs, buses, things shut down. They're done for the night. So if you don't know in advance how you're getting to your destination, you may be stuck at that airport. I can also tell you too, is if you're in that situation and you don't plan in advance, they're going to stick it to you with the cost. It is more expensive to get your transportation at the airport than it is to book it in advance. So knowing your transportation when you get there is huge. Well, that does it. Just in summary, some of the things is don't overpack, check the weather, use cubes, have electronics packed and charged before you go, bring a battery pack, have your medications ready, have water, and last bit, call your banking institutions. Don't walk around with large amounts of cash in your hand, and knowing your transportation once you get to your destination. Those are just some helpful tips that can help you plan and prepare for your next trip. Hope you enjoyed this. If you do, be sure and click the little like button down below. I hope to bring more of these videos to you about tips and whatnot for traveling and packing and getting prepared. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you soon.